had become very, very popular with our aircraft pilots. And after the war we started to think, well, we ought to think a little bit more seriously about sports cars. So Austin, well, MG ceased production in Abingdon in Oxfordshire and moved in with British Leyland. And there's a lot of people that will say they're not a true MG unless they've been made in Abingdon. And I suppose that's true to a certain extent. But I've always loved the MGB. I still think that it's the nicest working man sports car ever built. But what the bosses at British Leyland did, they got in touch with one or two people and they started to scouse through the things they were already making. Where have we got a nice 1800 engine? Where have we got legs from? And all this sort of thing. And a lot of the parts are off ordinary production cars. The 1800 B series engine, twin carb, was a standard engine they used at the time. And the MGB had that engine for all its life, until we started to do silly things. People want to go a bit faster, don't they? So they decide to put a 6-cylinder engine in one of these, and because you couldn't shut the bonnet, they put a hump in the middle and called it an MGC. Nice car in itself, as long as you didn't go silly with it, because the extra weight in the front end, and especially when they put the V8s in them, they just wouldn't go around corners. They were dreadful. But the basic MGB with a 4-cylinder engine, absolutely beautiful car. Loved them to bits. Not many MGBs you'll see do have the original wheels on. Very few do. This one is what we've got called the Shark's Mouth grille. L is about 1973, somewhere around there, but 72, but they're absolutely beautiful. We had one for some years, a little bit different. Somebody's been doing a bit of extra work, lowering the suspension, I would think.
Most other things, yeah.
Yes, I can imagine. Most of them, that's not a Webasto roof, is it? It is a Webasto roof. They're absolutely beautiful. They did have the problem. I love this grille. I think it's the nicest grille they ever put in an MG. And the colour is absolutely stunning. It's not a standard MG colour, is it? Yeah. But it's beautiful. Nice motor, very nice one, man. So, where are we? Has he stopped? Right, making them a copy of them. Naylor were one on Triumph running gear. They were beautiful. Hello, young man. This is a TD. Have you had it long? Lockdown project. Have you got unlocked since? Absolutely beautiful. The MG to me has always been the working man sports car. You can have your Spitfires, and somebody told me they once had a TR7. They were the best scrapyard brick wall I've ever seen in my life. You can see them stacked up. Beautiful. Again, going back. Crikey, how many have we got? MGBs. How are you doing? Non-standard colour?
It is a standard colour.
Is it? Aconite. Try saying that when you've had a few. Do you travel far? Derby. You enjoying the rally? Good. Now, this was one of the points I was making earlier. When they look, what production cars did we make? Austin 835, the Morris Minor. So we needed to make a body shell, and we came out with the MGA, and this is what this came into. Absolutely lovely little car, fetching quite a few quid these days, but I love them to bits. But you've got to respect what they were. Don't try doing 100 mile an hour and throwing them about. They weren't built for that. These were built for touring, 50 mile an hour, all day. Absolutely beautiful, young man. Very nice. Now, we're going back to a Derbyshire registered one. Derbyshire, about 73, somewhere around that region. 71. Sorry? Registered in Duffield. Well, that would be Derby, wouldn't it? Would be your local office at that time. Are you part of the Derby Owners Club? Snap. Yeah, there you are then. Very nice. The very few, as I've said, have the original wheels on, and I can't see one here that's got the original wheels on. Do you remember the Morris Minor that had the steel press wheels with the cap on? Well, they were the wheels that were originally on these. They did start to produce them with rough style wheels on, but most people in the British sports car nowadays, they wanted spokes, didn't they? Chrome spokes and alleys and all that sort of thing. But to be honest with you, I think they look better with, I think they looked horrible with the original wheels on. They look like dinner plates and dustbin lids, but these are absolutely lovely. Very nice, young man, thank you. Now, moving on.
Right, lad.
Now, isn't that lovely? Shark's Mouth B with stainless steel sills, crikey. You can't get it off. Well, it come off easy enough if you've got a gas axe. But very nice, it's very nice. Have you come far? Sorry? Oh, tell my missus about that. Here we are, like another TC. Yeah, 1952 TD. Isn't that beautiful? What could be nicer than that? Cruising along at 45 miles an hour. They went to America. Now, going back to 1967. Absolutely stunning. I like it. Because they're going to be judged for the best MG. That's why they're all here. And they've been getting the Brasso in all week so they can polish. Yeah. Right. Right. Now he's dropped his seatbelt in the door, did you know that? Yeah. The Italian MG Owners Club. J. 71. 1971. How do you get this Italian Owners Club from? Did you go over there every week?
Well, we did there a couple of times.
Now, this is, I'm not going to even worse workmanship, because one of the nicest cars we ever built was not the Allegro. Can you imagine somebody designing a car with a square steering wheel, selecting the best pre-wall? Trust me to break it. So I'm going to present here, young man, the gentleman with the MGA. Come and collect your trophy. There I look. Well done, well done. Well done. Don't scratch it before next year, will you? The car I meant, it's not the trophy. Right, right guys, come on, let's have you coming through. Let's come on before the scrap man comes.
Very nice, look at that. I hope one.
Well, you know, folks, Ford have always been very keen and very eager to sponsor Capri, and the Capri Classic came out in the 60s, but then they came out with the Capri, the later Capri. This is a later bodied one. The earlier ones have got quite a... I always take my hat off to people that have vehicles that were troublesome. Now, I don't mean that disrespectfully. The Mini was an absolute life changer. It changed everybody's thinking with the transverse engine and no prop shaft. It was but with all new things, there are problems. They had problems with the hydroelastic suspension. The door hinges weren't the best. Now, it just come at the right time because the Mini was such a success that the Roots Group had got nothing at all to compare with it. So they went down the line and designed the Hillman Imp. And they built a factory up in Paisley. Linwood produced nothing but Hillman Imps. Well, this is the upmarket version. This is the Singer Chamois. It's a super deluxe version, owned by my good mate Mr. Cheetham, and names that are long gone. Triumph Mayflower. It had a big brother called the Renown. Always stick in your mind. They always got named as the Razor Edge Triumph because of the very sharp body lines on it. This is your basic model, and the one at the back, you know, the one with the posh hat on and the basket of flowers and all the shopping, she's got the one that's a bit more deluxe. But they were a cracking little motor car. Sadly, they got merged and they went out of business altogether, did Triumph. I mean, they got the name, a little bit of badge engineering when they were sticking them on stags and things like that, but these are true motor cars. Very nice, young man. And it survives in Mansfield, so it does well, doesn't it? 45 years. Crikey. I've got to see what hat she's got on today. You don't say anything. Here she comes, Mrs. Grundy. What hat have you got? Hello, oh sweetheart. Don't say things like that to me. How are you keeping up? Beautiful. They've had these two cars for years, folks. They're absolutely beautiful. Now this is again an MGA owned by a good friend of mine. This is the soft top version, and they really are nice. They really, the MJs. Well, you ever watch your programs on television, you see how much they fetch you. This one's owned by Robert, who used to be one of our... Now, you know, a motor car that's, if you say what is traditionally British, the Morris Minor went back to the 1930s, and then we brought out the Morris Oxford, if you remember. Now, not the bullnose Morris Oxford, the later one with the pressed steel body, which was a blown up version of basically what these were, country. Very nice, young man. And those are the right hubcaps that you would have had on your original MGB. Very nice, young man. Very. Now, I'm not sure if it's the same one. I think I've seen this one about 300 times this weekend, floated about round the site. It became a fad in America, where they've got big beaches and lots of sunshine, and you went down the beach and you fastened your surfboard on the back, and it was always easy to make one of these out of a Volkswagen because you got the ideal engine to go in the back. You hadn't got much front on it, so it didn't matter. But they were here, is it? 65. You've looked after it. It's very nice. Very nice. Look at that. Now, I saw this particular motor car at Elveston Castle a couple of weeks or so ago. Believe it or not, in Darley Dale I saw the other day, sticking its nose out of a garage. But they're absolutely beautiful. If you can hear the engine running, there's something wrong with it. But for... Thank you. Lovely. Just look at that. Well, I'm trying hard not to laugh. Going back into the 60s, stop it there. The Roots Group were on a splurge about buying and one thing and another, and they already owned Hillman, and Hillman produced the Hillman Minx, They already owned Sunbeam,